and welcome to another episode of Council Connections. This program is an opportunity for your elected officials to keep you up to date on the events, legislation, and initiatives that matter most. I'm Char Freedberg, and today I'm pleased to welcome back Councilmember at Large Christine Johnson. Thank you so much for joining us again today.
Thank you for having me back home, Char.
It's always great to have you back home. Like whenever, I said this last Council Connections, but again, whenever you come in, everyone is always like, Christine is back, yay!
Right, and I love it. Like I said, it just feels like coming back home, so I really enjoy it. It's hard being on this side, answering the questions, but because it's such a homey feeling, I just enjoy it.
Yeah, speaking of being on this side, you've now been a council member for a little over a year now. So what is it like being an elected official, and what have you learned?
I love it. It has been an interesting, great, like there's so many words that I can use to describe it, experience. Like you mentioned, it's been a little over a year, so I wouldn't call myself experienced by any means, but it's definitely been eye-opening. It's given me a chance to represent my community. So it's just teaching me, I have a chance to learn. So there's a steep learning curve because I came from, like I said, the employee side, not knowing so much of the rules and regulations. So having to learn that. But I feel like I'm in a good place. I've been learning a lot. Some of the things that I have been learning, like I mentioned, the policies. It's a lot local-wide, statewide, county-wide. So just learning those things, how to navigate being a council member. I've learned the importance of listening. I guess you can use that anywhere, right? But just being able to listen to the constituents, hear what they have to say, listen to other stakeholders that are in place. I've also learned to collaborate and compromise. So as you know, we have a fairly new administration. Most of the council members are new, with a couple, being from previous administrations. So just learning to work together, learning each other, learning our different skills, and learning how to work together has been interesting during this first year. And also just how complex government can be, just the little nuances that you may not be familiar with as a resident or as an employee, but those different little nuances that you have to learn. So it's been fun, like I said, and eye-opening. So I look forward to continuing on for the next year.
We look forward to having you for the next year. So what were your main goals when you first took office, and how have you progressed towards achieving those goals?
Okay, so a couple different things. And I've learned too that, as a council member or running for office, you have things that you want to do, but you have to listen to the community and see exactly what they need. But for what I was interested in, specifically just a few things, definitely learning. Always learning how the government works, learning the different rules and regulations. I had to learn the it's called standing rules of order for our local government, how things are run, because you don't know that as a lay person. A couple other things, and also that with learning that I have been able to, like I said, the council was new, but we do have a couple incumbents. President Cole and Mayor Sydnor have been very helpful in sharing the information that they knew previously or that they are learning. So that's been a good thing also as we embark on this journey together. So a couple of other initiatives that I was interested in that I think I mentioned previously were literacy. And working with the youth. So I have met with a couple different organizations and looking forward to some events where we're looking at literacy events every month. So with one particular organization, the Better Place, Inc., we've actually met monthly and working on a schedule for next year. Wow. So we're looking at a Black History Month program, Women's History Month program. Nice. I love poetry. We had a poetry slam last year. We're going to do that again this year. And bullying was another one that we focused on last year that we're going to continue this year. And then one other issue that's very near and dear to my heart is dealing with our senior citizens. So in order for me to, other than personal information that I have dealing with, my parents, I signed up for the Maryland Department of Aging newsletter so I can get more information about what goes on the state level. And then I'm working with another council member on legislation that will help our local senior citizens. So more to come.
That's incredible. All of that. I really love all of those. So can you share a specific accomplishment from your first year that you're particularly proud of?
So it's interesting that you asked that, because I don't want to look to say, oh, what have I done? What have I done? And look to boast. I hate, and I kind of don't like doing that. But I'm learning that you have to look back and see what you've done and make sure that you're making progress, right? And that you're helping the people that you said you were going to help and doing the things that you said you're going to do.
Right.
So a couple things come to mind. First was starting the Women's History event. That was the very first time it was done. I was able to, put that off, take that the first time. With a great committee, we worked and got that done, and we're going to make that an annual event.
That was a lot of fun. I remember being there for that event, and I'm looking forward to how the Women's History Month event is going to expand in future years.
Right, so thank you. It's fun or great that the city allows you to do the different programs, because I look back at the Martin Luther King Day that I started, that we're still continuing. Women's History Month, hopefully that will still continue. So things like that, I'm very proud to be able to do that. We were able to, the mayor asked if we have different organizations that were in need of assistance. So I was able to help the Angels Haven nonprofit. They deal with domestic abuse. We were able to support them financially this year through the city donations. And they help with domestic abuse through counseling, support groups and legal services, and transitional housing and emergency shelter. So we were glad to be able to assist them. And then, like I said, those are kind of the out there things that people look and see, but I have some internal things, that I'm looking forward to have accomplished, and that's, again, learning those standing rules for the city council, because that's a big deal in and of itself. Like, you don't realize what goes into maintaining that order during a meeting. So just learning that. Interesting one, actively participating in the compost program, even before they sent it out to my neighborhood. So as a council member, we have to, approve budgets for different things and different programs. So Michelle Blair, the director of the composting program, she's always, bringing things before the committee, but it's better when you are able to say that you participated in the program. You know how the program works. You have that firsthand experience. So I'm glad to be able to say that I've done that.
And it's definitely good to say that you know where the food goes from compost bin to the compost lot, because you were there with a couple of council members. Council President Cole was there. You were there. Councilman Mills was there, and he took a big pile of
we
compost.
got our hands dirty, right? We got in there. It was so amazing. And I told somebody the other day, like, it didn't smell. You would think trash and old food, well, not trash, but old food would smell, but it didn't. The way they have this set up is phenomenal.
Absolutely.
So I appreciated doing that. And then this is, again, internal thing, but I'm more of a laid back, stay back behind the scenes type person. So just getting myself out there, letting the community know who I am, was a big accomplishment for me, and that I'm still working on.
Best of luck with all of that. So what challenges have you faced in your first years, speaking of still trying to overcome some things, and how are you working / have you worked to overcome them?
No challenges, Char. Everything is easy.
Aww, I wish that were true.
Right. I wish I could stop there, right? But no. Again, a couple things come to mind. The very first one is I, think about it, just dealing with the intricacies of dealing with people, right? You have different personalities, you have different perspectives, you have different interests, and we're a whole new administration. We're dealing with the whole community. It's a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So just dealing with all of that. But I do pride myself in almost being like a neutral party, able to listen to what everybody has to say, look at both or all sides of an issue, and take that in and not become too headstrong, on one particular issue, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
that
I
is definitely a good trait for a councilwoman to have.
Right. So I do pride myself in that. Maybe too laid back for some, but I appreciate the differences that come along with being on council. Maintaining objectivity and professionalism, because people have strong opinions and they will voice them strongly.
Absolutely.
So just being able to effectively work with others in that way.
Speaking of working with people, how would you describe your working relationship with other council members and Mayor Sydnor?
And again, I would say it's great. You have to ask everybody on their council connections, ask them and see what they come up with, and then you can get a whole consensus. But I think I have a very good working relationship with the other council members, with council president, and with the mayor, city administration, and staff. I probably have a cheat code for that one because I used to work with some of them. But, great working relationship. Like I said, even being new, so learning each other, learning different skills, learning how to, work together in that realm. So I really appreciate that. Again, we have different opinions, we have different personalities, but we do work together in a cohesive way. So I do appreciate that.
That is definitely an amazing thing to appreciate. What are you looking forward to in the upcoming months?
Quite
and
a
that could
few
be
things.
just as a person or as a council member.
Oh, cool. See, I like as a person. As a person, I look forward to a lot of things. But no, definitely looking forward to, like I say, on a personal level and a council level, the holiday season, right? So there are a lot of activities. The city does a great job with having all type of activities throughout the season, from tree illuminations, eating with Santa, all kinds of holiday things, the parade. So look forward to all of those. Thank you to Parks and Rec for those activities. Like I mentioned, too, the second annual Women's History event. So I do want to take a moment to kind of look at this and read it, because we have a theme that we take from the National Women's History Alliance, and we tailor it to meet our community.
Right.
So the next year's theme is going to be Moving Forward Together, Women Educating and Inspiring Generations.
Nice.
And what that'll do is it'll celebrate the collective strength, equality, and influence of women who have dedicated their lives to education, mentorship, and leadership, shaping the minds and futures of all generations.
Wow.
So that goes along with what I was talking about with the youth and literacy and things like that, and just helping to build. So I look forward to that. I have reached out to several mentoring organizations to participate in that. But if you have an organization that provides any type of mentorship or leadership skills, please reach out to me via email or text. We'd love to have you on that program. And then, let me see. Again, just what I'm looking forward to continuing to learn. Like, you think you know it all, right? But you don't. It's a lot to learn. I'm a lifelong learner, interested in learning, look forward to learning. And because I didn't mention that previously, the Maryland Municipal Center, gives classes to local officials so that they can learn how it governs. And that's great. So I've taken a couple of those classes, but also to learn our local laws too.
Nice.
So
Best of luck and keep learning. Finally, you did say that people can reach you, but what is the best way to reach you?
Sure. Like I mentioned previously, for the organizations, you can reach me via email or text. My email is cjohnson@laurel.md.us, and the telephone number is 443-972-0513. Again, I'm trying to get out there and meet the community. If I haven't met you yet, look out. I'm coming. I would love to meet you, especially during this holiday season.
Christine Johnson, thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you. Glad to be home.
Always glad to have you home. And thank you for tuning into this episode of Council Connections. I'm Char Freedberg, and I'll see you next time.